Hey there and welcome. We've all had those moments, right? Where the pressure is on, everything feels uncertain, and the stakes are just incredibly high. Today, we're going to dive into one of those moments through a story. It's a story that really gets to the heart of what it means to lead when you just don't have all the answers. So get comfortable and let's begin. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off on what seems like a totally normal day. We've got our hero, Alex, a leader just starting the morning, probably with a nice warm cup of coffee, and then the first alert pings. And just like that, the storm starts to gather. And then, boom, the message hits. The system is down. It's so simple, just a few words, but the weight behind them is immense. This means thousands of people are just stuck. They can't do their jobs, and you can almost feel every second that ticks by making the problem bigger and bigger. That quiet morning is completely gone, replaced by the sound of a crisis in full swing. And you know what comes next, right? The calls and the messages start pouring in. Leadership wants to know what's happening. When's it going to be fixed? What's the business impact? The pressure is no longer just technical, it's personal, and the spotlight is shining right on Alex. But honestly, maybe the heaviest weight of all is looking at your own team. They're smart, they're ready to go, but they're all looking in one direction, straight at Alex. They're waiting for a plan, for some guidance, for a decision. And in that exact moment, Alex feels the full, crushing weight of leadership. And here's the real kicker. This is the heart of the whole problem. The data is a mess. The logs are coming in late. The monitoring tools are all saying different things. Everyone has a different theory about what's wrong. There's no obvious answer here. It's just noise. It's uncertainty. It's like being lost in a really, really thick fog. So when you're stuck in that fog of uncertainty, you face this really critical choice. And it's not a technical choice, like which line of code to change or which server to reboot. No, it's a choice of mindset. And really, there are two basic ways you can try to navigate this kind of fog. So on one side, you have the junior approach. This is where you wait for that one perfect piece of information that's going to make everything crystal clear. But here's what experienced leaders know. Waiting isn't doing nothing. Waiting is a decision, and a lot of the time, it's a decision that just makes things worse. The other path, the senior approach, is all about acting with sufficient information, not perfect information. That danger of waiting, of needing everything to be perfect before you move, it actually has a name. It's called analysis paralysis. It's this trap where you overthink things so much that you end up doing nothing at all, paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong move. And in a crisis, doing nothing is usually the worst possible thing you can do. That right there is the real enemy in the fog. And this simple idea, well, it becomes Alex's guiding light. It's the mental shift that changes the entire game. The goal isn't to see the whole path out of the fog all at once. The goal is just to see the very next step. That's it. Just enough clarity to take one step forward. And that is the key. So with this new mindset, Alex doesn't just make a wild guess. No. Instead, Alex uses a kind of mental model. Think of it like an internal compass to figure out the way forward. This is that critical moment, the decisive moment, where thinking turns into real, structured action. So Alex quickly runs through this little mental checklist. First, what's the risk if we act right now versus the risk if we keep waiting? Second, does any of this look familiar? Have I seen a pattern like this before? Third, okay, with all this noise, what are the few signals that actually matter? And finally, what's the absolute smallest, safest first step we can take to learn more? This first step is so important. Let's look at how Alex thinks it through. On the one hand, if we act now and just restart this one service, what's the worst that can happen? The risk is super low, it's a standard thing to do. But the potential reward? It's huge, it might fix the whole thing. On the other hand, if we wait, well, the impact there is certain. More downtime, more business impact. Suddenly, the choice becomes pretty clear. Now that a decision has been made, Alex's next move is maybe the most important one of all. It's not about just running a command on a computer. It's about leading the team. This is where a technical choice becomes an act of real leadership. So Alex turns to the team and with a calm, clear voice says this. Now, listen how it's structured. Alex explains the why, based on the patterns, addresses the fear, the risk is minimal, states the clear action, restart this service, and then outlines what's next. We will monitor the impact. There's no panic in that voice, just a simple, logical plan. And that moment, right there, it shows you a deep truth about leadership. That simple, clear communication, it's like a flashlight in the fog. You can almost see the anxiety in the room just fade away because now the team has a direction. The problem isn't fixed yet, not at all, but the panic, it's gone. Clarity brought back their confidence.
So you see, Alex's story isn't just about fixing a technical issue. It's a really powerful lesson in what it means to lead. So let's zoom out a little bit and break down the key takeaways from this story into a mindset that you can actually use.
So, what can we really learn from Alex's compass? Well, first, just accept that uncertainty is part of the deal. It's normal. Second, you have to focus on getting sufficient clarity, just enough to take that next step, not perfection. Third, use mental models, like that risk versus impact evaluation, to guide your choices. Fourth, take small, safe steps that give you more information. Fifth, always communicate why you're doing what you're doing. It builds so much trust. And finally, just remember that what really defines a leader is their judgment when the pressure is on. If you only remember one single thing from our story today, please let it be this. Having incomplete information, it's not some obstacle that's stopping you. It's the landscape you operate in. It's just part of the job. So this mindset, these tools, they're yours now. Remember that being a leader isn't about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to move forward anyway, guided by good judgment and by trust in your team. So when that next storm starts to gather for you, you can stand there calmly in the fog, ready to take that first decisive step.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for watching this video. My name is Naresh. I am the content creator behind this YouTube channel. I have created a community for Citrix learners where I will be posting a lot of details on Citrix products and how to work in Citrix environments. I'm going to mention the link in the video description so you can click on that link and you can become part of the community. All right, see you soon. Bye bye.